Hi everyone, today I'd like to talk a bit about how Call of Duty multiplayer has changed from a casual's perspective. Now, I'm like super casual when playing Call of Duty. I'll pretty much play it and I'll play till the new one comes out, and then I'll just completely drop it and move on to the new one. I don't play any of the ranked stuff, but I do play all of the side stuff just every once in a while with friends, and I always play through the campaign. It's a very casual style for Call of Duty, I feel. It's how most people probably play it. The only difference being I'm pretty sure most people don't even play the single player story at this point. But I'd like to talk a little bit about how it's changed from my perspective, how it's changed from Advanced Warfare to Black Ops 3 to Infinite Warfare, and then going back to Modern Warfare Remastered and seeing how that's felt to me, as well as what I'd expect for the future. Now, I like to start by saying Advanced Warfare is probably the Call of Duty I played the most out of all of them, due to multiple circumstances. I actually reached Master Prestige in that one, and worked pretty decently far into that. It was to the point where I'd almost prestige once a day because I was just playing it so much. And a lot of that comes down to movement changes. As we were coming up to Advanced Warfare, we were coming off of Ghost. Ghost was a massive disappointment for most people. I know some people liked it, but for me personally, it felt like a disappointment. The weapons didn't feel fun or interesting or really cool. It didn't feel very much like all that good of a game, but it had a lot of weird microtransaction stuff, and that was something that was starting to bug me for Call of Duty. I bought the new guns as they came out, and I bought the Snoop Dogg pack, because who doesn't want to have Snoop Dogg narrating the game while they play? And I thought they were like cool little additions, and I didn't think much of them. Well, when Advanced Warfare came out, they brought weird balancing changes to the game and variants to the game, and that's something that I didn't expect at all. Basically, it'd be if you get this one... Let's say you get one gun that, let's say you just get the basic, like, M4 style weapon, which I can't even remember the name of it. Actually, I'm not even sure if it had one. But you get, like, the basic AK style variant, for instance. You could get, like, a Grenadier variant, where suddenly it has less kick, is more accurate, and has a grenade launcher on it. But then you could also get one where it's like, alright, this one shoots a lot faster, but does a lot less damage, or this one... it's heavier, or like something like that. You'd have different weird variants where they change little factors for the guns, but it would make them feel completely different, and it would make some variants overpowered. Like, there is a gun in the game that would shoot faster over time, or you could get a variant where it doesn't shoot as fast and is more accurate, so with the right attachment, it's basically a laser beam of death. And a lot of people hated that. A lot of people were really upset with it. They didn't like the drops. They made it eventually where you could pay money to get more higher end drops, and people didn't like that either. I didn't care either way. It didn't bother me much. What bothered me is when they started to add new actual weapons to the supply drops. Because when they did that was about the time I started to fall off with the game and quit. Though that was towards the end of the life cycle for the game anyways. They added like a lever action rifle, a blunderbuss, a weird shotgun, a new assault rifle, a new LMG, and at first they made these where if you have the season pass you get them for free. So like the first round of weapons are free, but then it's like, alright, here's the AK-47, like the old school, here's the old school M16 and stuff like that. It's like, oh, that'd be so cool to have. I'd really want to unlock that, and I just couldn't because I just couldn't. I couldn't get like the MP40 or the Sten they'd have for like SMGs because I simply didn't ever get them from supply drops. It was all up to random numbers, and that was a terrible way to go about it. Well, fast forward through that, there were a couple other smaller changes. Some of the perks were ones that you almost had to use, so there was no variation in classes really outside of whatever gun you had. So it really just felt like a lot of things were the same, and a lot of people didn't really like that. Well, you fast forward into Black Ops 3. They've changed up the movement again. In Advanced Warfare, you'd have like a double jump and you'd have a side boost, and you could boost along the ground. Well, in Black Ops, now you have a slight boost that you have more control over, can go in any direction with, and then you have wall running now, as well as swimming. So there's a lot more, like, ways to pick how you want to get across areas and ways to pick how you want to move. They've switched the grenades back from being this one where you'd, like, thunk like a grenade launcher with every grenade to actually just tossing them again. And it would be a toss, it'd be an underhanded toss for most, so they wouldn't quite go as far, and it wouldn't be as quite over the top with them all. But it was really good, and they brought back this classical pick 10 system that Advanced Warfare had, but it switched it up slightly where you could put more points into your score streaks to make them better. It was a real weird, not really good thing they had going for Advanced Warfare, but it worked. But they took that out of Black Ops 3. They added in Specialist, where you could pick and get like a special ability, and each one of them would have their distinctive look about them and their distinctive abilities that only they could use. So like you'd have a guy that could ground pound an area and kill a bunch of guys, or a guy that could pull out a gun that could shoot like 3 bullets, but those would murder anyone they shoot. And it was really good, honestly. The changes went back to old school style. They took out a lot of the weirder, funner guns that I enjoyed personally. Like, you didn't have guns that would fire faster over time, or guns that would shoot more, things like they even said themselves they changed it now, so it's actually gone back to being how older style Call of Duty used to be, because they fully admitted, Treyarch, that they didn't really know how to make them all that interesting. That like, once you make a single shot, a burst, and a fully auto assault rifle, there's not much more you can do with it, which I feel like Advanced Warfare just proved that's wrong. There's so much more you can do with it. There's so many more fun ways you can take the weapons that it kind of felt slightly boring for me going into it. But they also had supply drops in Black Ops 3, but no variants. And see, that was a weird kind of thing at the time, where it was like, alright, well, what's going to be in the supply drops? It was all cosmetic stuff. And there were cosmetic stuff in Advanced Warfare as well, but it'd be like all kinds of weird over-the-top style armor pieces, and it's like, alright, this is kind of a weird thing, but it was kind of cool to be able to show off with your character all the different stuff you've unlocked, or stuff you've earned through playing. So it was pretty, neat to have that. But then you go into freaking Black Ops 3, and now you can customize out your own specialist character. So each person you play as would have their own armaments, so you could kit them out, and that was actually kind of cool. It was made a way for you to show off more of what you've unlocked, but they had it more where you could still tell just by a glance that character might pull out a crossbow, or that character might start running really, really fast. That character might vanish, or pull out like an electric beam rifle or something. But at this point, a lot of people were getting kind of sick of like the future stuff. Me personally, I was just kind of sick of near future stuff, I didn't want it to be the far off year of 2077. I wanted it to be like, hey, if we're gonna do future, I want to go to fucking space. Fuck it, let's just go to space. Let's go crazy with it. Go over the top. I want to fight on other planets. Like, that's what I wanted at that point. Infinite Warfare comes along. Let me mention something else for Black Ops 3, actually. I quit playing the game before the end of its life cycle. And the reason I did this was they decided to add new weapons to the game, but lock them from most people behind a special supply drop wall. So you had RNG determining whether or not you were going to get the weapon in a game that you paid money for. I bought the $100 edition of the game and got the season pass, and half the guns they added to the game, I only got one of them ever, and I'll never be able to use about half the guns in the game because of it now. And I fucking hate that. That was the reason I quit playing the game. There's so many cool guns I want to use. They brought back the Galil, the FAMAS, the MP40, the PPSH, the M16. There's so many cool things they brought back, but I'll never be able to get them. That's just because the random number does not always go in your favor. Most people will never be able to get those weapons, and I hate that. Honestly, it's awful. Bringing back classic weapons like that but not being able to use it sucks. Anyways, though, going back to it, when Infinite Warfare was looking like it was coming out, I was super excited for it. It was like the full future stuff. It looked, and like the beta played a lot like older style Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare 3. It had the same kind of movement as Black Ops, but it was a lot more subtle about it. Like in Black Ops 3, when you double jump, it would feel like you were yanked up into the air with your boost. But in Infinite, it just felt like an extension of the jump. Otherwise, it's just exactly the same. But they brought back the weapon variants, and they brought back the weird weapons. So now you've got like an assault rifle that you can break off into two like full auto SMG style things. Or like you have an SMG that you can extend and make it shoot slightly slower, but you get more damage and more range. Or like a sniper rifle that fires 2 shots instead of 1, and like all these other crazy over-the-top weapons. And personally, I love that. And then they added the variants back, but now they've made it the best variant system it has ever had. They made it right off the bat. You can buy supply drops. Even your coins you bought in Black Ops 3 will carry over for your supply drops. And a lot of people were a little iffy on that. But it ended up working out, because if you get points from any box you open, and every day you log in you get points, then you can simply go into the game and spend those on whatever you want. If you want to just flat out unlock the highest tier assault rifle you want, you can go do it. It doesn't matter. And that, for me, was something that's going to keep me coming back to the game, that's going to keep me going until the new one, is that I can actually get all these older weapons. And then they added in the classical style weapons, where you can get weapons from older Call of Duty games. Instead of them being locked behind a random number generator and locked behind maybe you get them, maybe you don't, every time you prestige, you get a token that just flat out unlocks one, and hey, then you can use it forever. And it's really cool that they're doing it in that way. Like, they haven't really changed up much else. The pick 10 is still the same, but they got rid of wild cards, so they just made a much simpler system to use. You just pick what you want to put points towards, and then you have that item. So if you want overkill, you just boop a little button. It takes away one of your points, but now you have overkill. You can equip. So it makes a lot more sense to me. It's a lot more simple to use. And a lot of the guns are a lot cooler and funner, and the movement system from Black Ops 3 is there. It really just kind of feels like the perfect Call of Duty game. It kind of feels like it's doing everything right. And I know I sound like a weird fanboy, but like, as someone who's just played every Call of Duty as they come out and enjoys like all kinds of games, I get Call of Duty every single year, and I've had the most fun with it. Its campaign was also a good one, but honestly, all the campaigns for this generation's Call of Duties have been really surprisingly good, with the exception of Ghost not ever really getting the sequel it needed for its story. That's a bit of a disappointment, but oh well. But a lot of people hated it, and I can understand that. They were sick of the future stuff. They didn't want it anymore. They wanted Modern Warfare, World War II, or something like that. Battlefield 1's coming out, and it's World War I. Why can't we go back to the past, Call of Duty? Why do we gotta have another future game? Because, I mean, the last, pretty much all of them had been future games. You have Modern Warfare 3, which took place in about the year 2016. You have Modern Warfare, Black Ops 2, which was 2025, Black Ops 3, which is like 2075, Ghost, which is like 2030, Advanced Warfare is like 2060. Like, there's all these different kinds of things, and then this new one is like 21XX or some bullshit. Like, it's way off into the future for Infinite Warfare, and I love that. I really, really do. But a lot of people hated it. A lot of people are sick of it. They wanted Modern Warfare back. They wanted World War II back, World at War back. Well, they kind of got it in the Modern Warfare Remaster, and they pretty much showed their hand, Activision and everyone else, how they're going to be handling going back to those franchises. With the Modern Warfare Remaster, we got classic Call of Duty 4. Now, there are some problems here and there. The spawns were shit, and some of the smoke grenades and sounds were kind of shit, but we got it as classical, typical Call of Duty 4, purely as it was. And a lot of people adored that. They loved that. It's everything they wanted. But eventually, they added supply drops to it. Now, it had all the classical style, everything else was the same. Now we got supply drops. They're cosmetic only. And we remember how well last time they said cosmetic only supply drops go. They've added new weapons to Modern Warfare Remaster, which has shown that even if we get a old-style World War II game, even if we get another modern game, supply drops are here to stay in Call of Duty, sadly. If they're willing to bring them to a remaster of their old game, they're willing to take them anywhere. Not to mention, they did add a new weapon for every class, a new pistol, a new assault rifle, SMG, LMG, shotgun, and sniper rifle have all been added to the game at this point, as well as melee weapons. Like, it's gotten stupid over the top. What people want from Call of Duty at this point, it seems, is a return to classical style. They don't want the advanced movement, the advanced boost systems of other games, and if you do want those, you have 3 games you could go play that are Call of Duty that all have those. If you want a classical style one, where knowing a way around the map and knowing a weird jump you can do is like secret knowledge that not a lot of people have. Well, it's online, but still not a lot of people learn it. Knowing the peak spots, knowing the angles you can get to drop on people, knowing all the different strafe jumps you can do to get to special areas. People want that back in Call of Duty, and I feel like I can agree with that. A lot of my most fun I had with it is Modern Warfare 3 and playing with a friend, unlocking all the weapons, working through all the ranks and things like that. If they brought that kind of game back in a modern style, or if they even went so far as to bring back a World War II game, which is the current rumor, I'd be more than happy with it. That'd be a really fun game to play, and I'd be really excited for it. And I don't know what route they're going to do, but I can hope it'll be fun. And I hope it'll appease a lot more people than just the people like me who wanted the future game and things like that. Anyways, I hope you enjoy, guys. I hope you enjoy the perspective I give on this. I feel like it's a little bit different because it's not like I'm big into Call of Duty. It's not like the main focus of my channel, but you can see, if you look at my past videos, that I've played a lot of Call of Duty stuff and stuff like that. So, hope you enjoy, guys, and I hope you have a great day.